DJI Air in 2024. Why do I still have this particular drone up to today? Do I recommend it? Can someone who does not have a drone yet get it? Let's find out. Okay guys, here we are today, and 2023 I bought the DJI Mavic Air original, and I also promised to make a video later that particular 2023 to tell you the reason why I had to buy this particular DJI Air in the midst of all other drones there, the Air 2, the Air 2S, Mini 2, Mini 3, Mini 3 Pro, and as large number of them as that are existing out there. This is 2024. This is the time I'm getting to make this particular video. Sorry, clients work and some other personal stuff, I've not been able to do it. But yeah, here we are today at this particular nature reserve here in Lagos, Nigeria. This place is so calm, it's so peaceful. It's so nature, right? So now today we are doing this particular video, and unfortunately I don't have much battery on my drone too, so I'm just going to fly a little, and then I will explain other things as we go by. Let's get this thing up, right? So yeah, I did some other video which if you've not seen it, check it somewhere here. I will link you also to the video. So let's just get some shots. Yeah, so one thing, this drone is very noisy, so it's one of the things that you have to consider, So let's get some shots here. Birds are attacking me. Okay, now I'm losing signal again. What are the positive things I have for you concerning this particular drone? Everything about it is not all negative. That's the honest truth. Now, one thing about it is, of course, I bought it cheap compared to the price of the Mini 2 and of course even Mini SE. If I would be buying that new, so I bought it cheap because I bought it used, and yeah, that's one good thing. And of course, it does very great and marvelous 4K, even though I've not had any need for 4K. I just shoot in 2.7K and edit in 1080 timeline. So yeah, that's one other great thing about this. Other thing about it is the kind of work I do commercial photos and videos, and real estate once in a while. Even the real estate that I do doesn't require that much flying time. Okay, so I will include some footages here, and the drone just serves me. Of course, there are some times where you just feel that particular FOMO, right? For fear of missing out. You want the drone that has more features and more technicalities and stuff like that. But when it comes to getting area view of a place or of a location, it serves me. All right, let's talk about color profiles. By color profiles, I mean with this particular Mavic Air, I'm able to shoot in cine style, like the cine profile, which is different from the standard profile. Like I said earlier on, I owned the Mavic Air Mini 2 before, and it is only the standard picture profile that I can get from it, which means I don't have much leverage when it comes to being able to color grade or edit the footage to my style, match the footage with footages from other professional cameras, right? So but with the Air that I have, the raw footage that I'm able to get is almost close to the log profile, which is in the Canon cameras that I do professional videos with. So being able to match the footage that I get from my drone and with the footage that I get from professional cameras, I find it much easier to do than if I was just shooting in a normal color profile or flat color in a standard color profile, which we just bake in the colors onto the image. So yeah, it's a very small drone, but it provides you with that particular professional feature of having very good footage for post-production, right? This is something that DJI Mini 2 does not have. Even though DJI Mini 2 is a newer drone with newer technology and of course wider coverage in terms of the distance it can go, it does not have this particular professional feature of being able to have close to log profile kind of footage, right? So it's also another thing that you have to bear in mind. Do you need a drone that will provide you with a footage that you can tweak to your own taste in post-production, or do you need a drone that can just get you up there and capture what you want? Let's talk about flight distance. By flight distance, I mean the connectivity between the drone and the remote. One thing that is a drawback for this particular Mavic Air 2 is the low connectivity between the drone and the of course the remote control. Even while flying here, which is a nature reserved park, you notice that once I go for a little distance, you begin to see that the transmission will no longer be there. Like, you will not be able to see the live feed of what your drone is capturing. See that it has turned black and white. So that black and white there is because it has lost signal. This is a different experience from what I had when I owned a Mini 2, which means that it is definitely because of the lower technology that this particular remote control has. From what we know, like from Mini 2 and the rest, there's the OcuSync 2.0 kind of technology that will help you to transmit image and also help you to go further distance and stay have communication between your drone and your remote. So if the kind of thing that you'll be doing will require you to fly far away from where you are operating the drone from, you also have to bear in mind that you may not have the live feed, the live footage of that because of this particular limitation. All right, and I also noticed very well that this limitation is most profound and prominent if I'm flying in urban areas. By urban area, like urban town, developed place, not like a quiet place like this. If you have a place where you are likely to have interferences from Wi-Fi's and other and other electrical kind of interferences, you see that there will be that particular issue with having the live feed from the drone being communicated to your remote, to the remote control. That is what you're seeing on your phone. So the flight distance is another thing that you have to bear in mind. Does the kind of work require you to fly for a further distance? Does the kind of work require you to just fly close by and get the footage that you want? It's also another thing to bear in mind when you are looking into the DJI Air Original in 2024. One other con about this particular Mavic Air is that it makes a hell of a lot of noise. If you are flying in a neighborhood where you wouldn't want to attract so many attention, the Air 2 might not be the drone for you. I owned a Mini 2 before, and Mini 2 is way silent, more silent than this particular Mavic Air 2. So it's one thing that you also have to bear in mind. Where did I come from? Okay, this way. So let's talk about battery life. Battery life is another thing that you have to also bear in mind if you are getting this particular drone for your work in 2024. The reason for that is this particular drone, I think even when it was launched, was advertised for about 15 minutes flight time. That was the technology that was available at the time. And these days we have drones that will give you up to 30 minutes, 25 minutes flight time for one battery. So, and because also that this is an old drone, it will be very hard for you to get a battery that still has much life in it. So flight time is also one thing that you have to consider. How much flight time would you want to have? And also how many batteries will you be able to get? Since when I got this drone, I got it with 2 batteries. But maybe because I have not started looking, that is the reason why I have not really found extra battery for this particular drone. So, but even if I'm buying an extra battery, I also have it in mind that I'll be getting a already used battery. So battery life is also one thing that you have to consider. So if you want to have much flight time, please find another drone. But if you just want a drone that will help you go up there, get a footage. Of course, when you're doing the video, you don't actually need much drone footage, right? Just depending on the nature of what you do. So yeah, if I fly for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I may end up just using just a few seconds or 1 minute out of the entire footage. So yeah, battery life is another thing you have to bear in mind concerning the Mavic Air. All right, they are about calling us out of this particular place, but before I go, I also want to let you know that this particular drone has obstacle avoidance. Obstacle avoidance means that if you are flying towards an object, the drone will stop moving towards that particular side. And what it means in summary is just that you would be able to crash your drone the less, because if you don't have that particular obstacle avoidance, you would always, you will find yourself always crashing the drone and breaking it, and of course damaging the drone entirely. So the Air 2, unlike the Mini 2 that I was comparing it to in terms of the price, then has obstacle avoidance in 3 places: the underneath, the front, and then the back. All right, so this is also one thing that you also have to consider. What is the kind of work that you'll be doing, which kind of areas will you be flying, and what kind of risk would you want to take flying. What's my verdict about the DJI Air Original in 2024? Well, it is a kind of a good and a bad drone kind of thing. The relationship I have with it is a kind of a good and bad thing. And what I'm saying that is, it doesn't really, there are limitations that I know that the drone has, but these are not limitations that I can't do without. Of course, I would prefer if I can have a drone that has all the technology kind of thing, but I know that those things cost money. But this particular drone still help me get the kind of work that I need done. Of course, if I want to buy a bigger drone, I'll save up for it. But right now, this drone is serving me, and it's helping me achieve the kind of thing that I want. So if you are the kind of person that your work doesn't require much drone footage, you just need to get a little drone footage of your location, I highly recommend the DJI Air 2 in 2024. But if you're the type that would want to have much flight time and play with better technology, of course, the DJI Air 2 is not for you. Get something else. All right, so I'm signing out now. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe.